Corn prices versus inflation. I'm Rich Poston for Critical Point. It is 4:28 March 1st, 4:28 p.m. Eastern Time. Just walking a field here March 1st in central New York and thinking back as a child all the way back in the 1970s, 60s, it would be unheard of why anybody would bother go walking a field on March 1st, okay? This has been one bizarre winter here. Very warm, lack of snow, but we have had a lot of rain and precipitation, but I would guess in the last 30 days that precipitation has backed off. It's going to be an interesting year. All right, how about the inflation story? I went back and looked at my data that I found when I was calling the 2005 supercycle bottom in corn. I even spoke at a gigantic money show on it, and I nailed it, okay? And prices went up on into 2008 to a record high price, as I said, even though I must say at times I was really getting nervous whether it was going to work, okay? Now, one of the things I pointed out at that time was adjusting for inflation when I took the worst corn price in the 1930s, added inflation to, and came up with that the corn price in 2005 was as low as during the Depression, and I pointed out we were not in a depression. We were having a growing economy. So the bottom line is corn was really dirt cheap. Well, that also worked out for me, but it's not something we should hang our hat on and assume that it's a guaranteed thing. It's just a nice little thing to think about in terms of how the economics work. All right, now I dug that out. The last time I had updated was 2014. And lo and behold, I had made projections in 2014 to all the way into the 2030s. And I looked at it and I said, maybe price is a little lower than I wanted. Okay, but it's fascinating. It's like it's still chugging along working. Then I looked at the deflator, or the actual inflation rate, and realized I had a fixed rate that I thought worked the best. And I said, we're going to put in actual inflation from CPI and see what we come up with. And instead of going on all my tables or going to the government site and download, I used Chat AI and simply said, hey, I want to know the percent inflation from 1930 to 2022, which is the latest they provide for data through AI. And it gave me that. And then I said, okay, go to my corn chart, find the lowest price, which was 18.29 cents or something like that in 1932, the bottom of the stock market, the super cycle bottom for anything and everything, in my opinion. And I'm very comfortable with that. I really like it. And then I just plugged in the annual, and it is just an annual inflation, but I think that's solid, that's worthy doing, and just extrapolated all the way to 2022. And then I added like a 4% annual for 2023. I'll have to do some work on that, but I don't think it really changes much. And the end result, by the end of 2023, it was saying that corn price of 390s to 380s is as cheap as 1930s, dirt cheap, rock bottom, Great Depression, low price, okay? So here we are. Now, on one hand, this makes me very excited, but the problem is, when I first came up with this idea, I was trying to match a super cycle in 2005. Today, there's nothing important here for a cyclical bottom, okay? But you don't need to take inflation and apply it to some other analysis. You should be able to look at it on its own and say, hey, this is something else to consider. Bottom line is, corn's just as cheap as in the Great Depression, and we are nowhere near depression. We've got a rock and rolling, fantastic economy, okay? So, who's pushing the buttons to have these low prices? All right, I think this is going to be damn interesting going into summer. Past results are not necessarily indicative of future results. Have a great weekend, and who knows how valuable this is, but I'm really curious about it. I think it's neat. I think we're looking at a market that is not broken in the sense of how it's trading and behaving, but I think we're looking at economics that are pretty much broken. Who broke it? Thank you.